Okay, so uh what's going on? Okay, so doing this one more time. It keeps coming up. The destroyer is coming. See that? See the sunlight going through that? There's no way I can Photoshop. I can barely run my YouTube. I'm so sick of Tower. I've been telling people this for 5 years, way before Mike or Pastor Paul or anybody's been telling it. God gives us all the news. Why do we run to these conferences? Waste our money when God will give you the news. God, if you are seeking God's face, you are seeking the truth of God. What is Jesus? The way, the truth, and the life. Pastor Paul Begley last night on Pastor, sorry, I'm not trying to go against him, but on Pastor Paul Begley, Mike said the destroyer again. Why does nobody, how long have I been teaching that, Cormac? Way before they even started talking about it. Haven't I, buddy? You've been on my channel for almost 2 years. Okay. So you know what that is. Look at the light going through it. That's a sunlight ray going right through it. There's no way I could have faked that. Long time now. So these pastures, I've sent that picture and many pics to Pastor Paul, and he wanted to give the news, not me. He stuffed it under the paper. He had, let me show you what he had. He had the reflection. He didn't have the object. I have both reflection and object. So now I got to go again and teach. You know what he did to me last night, Cormac? Before, when they said the binary twin system, remember how I explained there's an evil twin system, there's an evil one, just like uh Cain and Abel. It's the same thing out here. There's a good system and a bad system, and the bad system is here, and it's causing all this damage. And I'm so sick and tired. You know what Paul Begley did to me last night? Rudely. I said before even Mike opened his mouth, that's a destroyer. They were going Nibiru, Nibiru, Nibiru. I was like, is Nibiru in the Bible? No, it's not. So now I watch all these other channels that are saying the same thing. Nibiru, Nibiru. Well, you go and show me where that's in the Bible, and I'll hang myself right now. I'm 100%. I've read the Bible 2 times, and I've listened to it 30 times, and I've never heard that name come up. Okay. And this is Sheva. Sheva is the destroyer. Oh, there's red oxide iron in it. The iron furnace. It has red iron oxide. It is all iron oxide. That's all it is. And it's also spiritual. This thing moves like they can't even track it because God, you can't destroy the destroyer or else it wouldn't be called the destroyer. So, and God worked yesterday so mightily in me, so mightily. He blessed me with blessings, and I'm not bragging, okay? I'm not bragging. I've never had blessings like I had as going through tribulation with my daughter in law. She called me and finally asked me for forgiveness. So, all the evil stuff she sent me, pages and pages of it, and her mom, I erased, and because I have to forgive people. It's not a have to. I want to because it causes burden. And God settled it all. I sold my car and I felt all bad about selling my car. It's all a part of the plan. So these are all hundreds. You see that? All hundreds. Every single bill in there is a hundreds. God blesses me. So last night on Paul Begley, he was talking about this. I have a picture of it, Sheva, the destroyer. He even has a, there's no way I Photoshop. Listen, I don't even know how to run my computer. You can see the face in it, everything. That's Sheba. And one time on Mike's, when I used to be able to put things on his, used to be able to put pictures on, I put that one on, and Mike said Shiva right away. So, and Shiva is the destroyer, the iron furnace that causes it red at night and red in the morning. That's iron oxide. So, what does Jesus rule us with? A rod of iron. Do you know what a rod of iron is? The destroyer. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm forgiving Paul Begley constantly because he constantly blocks me. He doesn't want a little guy like me that has the full truth on what is causing this. Why do you think it's called the destroyer? Because it fixes everything? That's almost a stupid thing. Now, I'm going to play this Mike from Around the World and Paul Begley last night. And as I do it, I'm going to go one more time through the pictures. Yeah, you see, I don't care that he's doing it. Okay, so we got new visitors. Hey, the destroyer's sitting right there. Sheba. That's a shot. That is with it every time. That is its reflection. He's even got some sort of you can see some sort of see that line that goes here and up there? Wow, that's a demon manifesting, and that demon's name is Shiva, the destroyer. I'm sick and tired of being stomped under the carpet just because I'm a little guy. The Lord worked in that yesterday. Hi, guys. I'm so glad to see you guys. So, uh, you know, the Lord can works through the babes. He works through the foolish. He works through the weak, the donkey. He came in on a donkey and they missed him. And he's coming in on the donkeys, not these high guys that think, I know it all. I know it all. You know what it said yesterday? The wise will be brought down. They won't be the wise. These Pharisees and these Sadducees, and I don't want to talk about someone, but he is, because he wants to teach everything his way. And if someone like me comes in, a guy that has, next to barely any subscribers. Listen, isn't there just a remnant that knows this thing? Ask Samuel. He's got pictures of all this. This is the destroyer. This is not called Nibiru. This is not called Planet X. And Cormac knows it. He's seen many pictures of mine. I'm going to send you some like I did Samuel. I'm going to send you the whole thing. Okay. So, and yesterday, everybody knows I was almost divorcing. And I was crying the whole entire day. And I sold my car and I thought I made mistakes, but I didn't. God's leading me. Okay. Yeah, you have no doubt anymore, Samuel, that that's the destroyer. And I have a picture of it. And I'm the only one in the world. And I'm not, come on, I'm not sitting here bragging. This picture happened in a click of an eye. So, how did God? There was a guy standing beside me that didn't believe in demons or God. And he witnessed with me. He looked over and he saw it. That's a demon. And I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, it is. And and then a couple days later, something happened. And, or no, it was a couple months later. I did more study on the iron furnace, the destroyer, and God gave it to me in full because I showed it to Mike. I showed this to Mike 5 or 6 years ago. The destroyer. And all these channels are explaining, oh, Nibiru on the Planet X. Is that in the Bible? Jerry Reed, is Planet X in the Bible? Or is Nibiru in the Bible? Okay. Is it in the Bible? I'm asking you a question. Can you please answer that, Jerry? I need your support on this. Is Nibiru or Planet X in the Bible? Do you know it only says planets once in the Bible? Okay. So we got a new visitor. Let's show him the destroyer. Exactly. Planet X and Nibiru is not in the not in the Bible. Okay, so one more picture for you guys. Sheva, the destroyer, manifesting her face. Can you not see the face coming out of that? And that's its reflection. And it's with it every time. Ask Samuel. I sent him every picture that I had. And he said, Rod, I was kind of like not doubting you, but I was kind of like not on that same page as you until I sent him the pictures. So as Mike is talking here, I won't listen to the other guy. The other guy stuffed me and stuffed me. I've been showing him this. I sent Paul Begley that 5 years ago, and he put it under the book. And then I sent it when he was calling Planet X and Nibiru or the Ghost or the Goblin or the Kachina, the red Kachina, the blue Kachina. That's not what this is going on. The Destroyer is pulling on us right now. They can't even watch that thing. And if you watch Egypts of God, it's called the movie Egypts of God. At the end, God is pulling around the Destroyer. And even Mike said, if people don't think these things in movies are going to happen, they're happening in front of our eyes. Now, they tell you, like Satan, they tell you some of the truth, and the rest of it's lies. I'm not here to tell lies. I'm sick and tired of evil. I don't lie, man. I'm not sitting here lying. I can send anybody that joins my messenger Rodney page on Facebook with the capital R and a capital P. Oh yeah, that's what my job is. To reprove people. Rapture's not real. You know? I'm almost in tears. I'm just a simple sheep goading herder that gets kicked under the bus. Nobody wants to listen to me. I'm yelling it from the rooftop. Yet they want to stuff me under the paper. They want to stuff me. This is why I don't listen to Paul Begley, and I'm sorry, I'm not going against him. But last night, okay, we get to that part. He he started talking about the binary system. I started putting that's not the binary. Well, it is. It's an evil system, just like Cain and Abel. Okay, so and I was going to Destroyer, the Destroyer. It's not Nibiru. It's not Planet X, the Destroyer, the Destroyer. Boom! Pastor Paul, it said it straight on. He blocked me. He blocked the truth from a simple guy because, oh, you know, my high end guys have the answers and you don't. Those are Pharisees and Sadducees. Look at who he follows. He went around with these big churches. Perry Perry Stone is a false prophet. That's as far as I'm going because I don't want to talk about people. Okay. I know the false prophets. When I hear them, my ear goes, whack! God tells me, don't be fornicating your word, the Jezebel spirit, which is all over. And it's the worst time ever than it was before or ever will be again. That's for everything. So they get rid of a little guy like me with the truth because they don't they don't want their truth, what they're teaching people to be shot down. Okay. Yeah, they'll become my channel has gotten a lot more in the last couple months than it ever has. Because when people realize these big guys with 500,000 followers, Paul Begley has two channels, one has 5, one has 4. Okay? He's a millionaire. Okay? He sells he sells stuff all and okay, I got to digress cuz I can't talk about him anymore. Okay? I don't want to do that. I just want to point out we don't need to be listening to these false prophets and these ones charging money. It's here free from me. I don't charge a cent. Yeah, people are, but they're kind of going back to sleep, you know, in my area. They're going to wake up very soon. Okay. I know what the destroyer does, and the Egyptians even show what it does. It's that red sun with the wings, casting down snakes on people's head. I recompense your recompense on your head. So if you don't ask for forgiveness, all your sin is coming back for you. And it will take your soul if you don't have enough light in there. You're supposed to change these eyes into your spiritual eyes. If your two eyes become one, you become full of light. That doesn't happen till the very end because as Ananias and Sapphira changed that with God. He lost two. And he says, no, after that, no, he won't lose one. But he had to change that because he used to put the Holy Spirit right in people fully. We don't fully listen. Holy Spirit works through you. It's not totally encompassed you, or else you wouldn't be here. We're not whole. You get it? Holy art thou. Holy art thou, I will have to say. Not one person on this earth is holy art thou. Because when Jesus said, I make you whole, holy, whole, holy, you can't be fully holy in this stupid thing that we live in. This is a car and it's being driven by everything else if you're evil. But we have to take over this car and overcome it. We will be overcomers. Okay. God's children will be overcomers. Have you seen the work that happened with me yesterday? God did it all, man. Whack. I was talking to my sister going, we need to pray for my daughter-in-law really bad. She's fallen. I think she was listening to my show. And I started teaching the Bible, and I just opened it up where it was, and the Lord started confirming exactly what I talk about. See, the Lord confirms things with me. I'm a teacher. I'm not a prophet. I have prophecy, but I don't talk about it very much, okay? I'm not a prophet. I'm just a teacher for the Lord. I'm just a donkey being ridden in by. Many people are going to miss his coming. It's going to be worse this time. I've been in tears for like 3 weeks. Every day he's humbling me. My coach, like the Bible says, I've watered my coach. It said that in the Bible the day I was talking about it. I don't go and search it out. When I teach out of my Bible, I open where I'm left off. And right now I'm in Psalms. And wow, Psalms I didn't actually realize that how powerful Psalms is. Yeah, and this is our revival. The big revival that's coming is Jesus. There's no revival like that one that's coming. Okay, so when the destroyer does its job throughout the earth, whoever's left, huh, and so many of them still won't repent. Look at they're not repenting on on what's going on right now. God is off his throne. I proved that. I got a picture of it, and he's angry. Okay, I have a picture of that too. Ask Samuel. He'll send you the information. He's got all the information I got. People can't handle this truth, okay? They're like, well, the coronavirus can go away. It's never going away, by the way. My dad tried to say that to me. I said, Dad, colds don't go away. I have to keep waking my dad up because my dad didn't believe what time we were in until some of the dreams I told him blew his mind. I'm in Psalms. And when I was teaching what I was going through yesterday, trying to help my daughter in law, I think she was listening. Okay. I did not back talk her. I was teaching against what some of the people are doing, the Christians are doing right now. They say they're Christians, but they don't have the full truth. In the Bible, it talks about some people cannot come to the full truth. What is that? Jesus Christ. If you can't come to the full truth and you don't love the truth, you love the lie. You love the unrighteousness of your sin. I hate when I'm stuck in sin, buddy. I cry. I fight it. It takes 3 days sometimes when at my weakest point before I finally break. Now, he's given me the strength by the measure I gave out to him. So, by the measure you give the Lord is what you get back. You give some, you're going to get back some, but not in this time. We need to be like and I'm not bragging this, I love to do it. I start, and the last couple days I've been really busy. I'm going to pick up my truck today that was given to me. So I was going to go buy a camper. I got a truck that's like brand new shape for next to nothing, and a camper topper that's brand new for $2,000. He saved me money. God's saving me money. Right? Exactly. So there's a new person in here. There's the destroyer. There's it manifesting Sheva, the demon, the destroyer, the iron furnace, the furnace of iron, the destroyer. Why does Jesus come back with a rod of iron? Iron furnace. Furnace of iron. Sheva, the destroyer. I've been teaching that for 5 years, and Paul Begley keeps stuffing me under the paper. I'm not trying to talk bad about him. He took my pictures that reproved Samuel seen all my pictures. And they're saying, well, the horses of the apocalypse haven't rid. Samuel, do I have a picture of the horses of the apocalypse riding? They've been riding from the beginning. Okay? That's already done. God shows his signs in the heavens as well. I have a picture of that. That's one of Samuel's favorite picture. Mike said purple skies. I have a picture of purple skies with a face looking right at you. Purple, yellow, pink, red. Man, I'm telling you, blue skies. I've never seen a picture like that one in the world. And my daughter-in-law took that picture. Thank you, my daughter-in-law. And you know what? She was still screaming at me all day yesterday, and all I said, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. The Lord said, don't open your mouth. Just be there for her. I don't care if you're striking me and killing me. This is what God's preparing me for. I don't care if someone's hurting me. And they say sorry, not even if. I erased all the bad information I was going to show my wife because no one else was going to reprove. You know, God sends people to reprove. I send a messenger. And if you don't listen to him, what happened with Jeremiah? Jeremiah keep telling them, you're going to get destroyed. You're going to get destroyed. Just give yourself to God. And they didn't listen to him. So God will speak next. And when we get onto the show, get going, and I'm showing you pictures, this guy has done nothing but shove me under the book. He said some things to me, and he is a Pharisee teaching. Doesn't mean that he can't come to God, but he won't take reproach from someone like me. Who's gonna? Barely anybody listens to me. They think, oh, he's just a, just a small sinner. Do you know what? I've been touched by evil. I've been beat up by evil. Like literally. I woke up in the leg. It froze me and I woke up in the leg and my leg was bruised from top to bottom. And my girlfriend noticed it before I did. And she said, what happened to your leg? And I told her. And she says, I hear those all the time speaking up in the attic. Well, they're not ghosts. So he might even, you know, aliens? There's no such thing as aliens. I heard that come out of his mouth, man. Do you know what? I can sit here all day and show you stuff that he's a false prophet. And I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm not trying to chastise anybody. I'm trying to get people out of this false rapture teaching. Oh, you're going to be raptured. Yeah, well, get ready to be lazy. What happens to a lazy Christian? They get spewed out of the mouth. If you know God, you can't be cold. or lazy. You have to be hot. What does that mean? Okay, so what it means by cold, it'd be better that you didn't know God or Jesus to be lukewarm. So cold means you've never understood about God and Jesus, not really been taught about it. You don't know much about it. Well, the whole world can't be that, right? You got it. Revelations, which Jesus gave to me 6 times. When you get a visitation from Jesus, remember God, when he talks about installing when you're sleeping, he installs that information in you. I've had 5 or 6 dreams of the destroyer. Even one of them, I was in the sand. I was in the, I've told this. I was in a sandy place. Okay. I don't know what it was, but there was a rock on the ground. It was broken in half, and you couldn't reflect a light off of it if we're even one of the most shiny lights wouldn't have reflected off that rock, and I saw a red orb reflecting off of a rock. That would be almost impossible. And the Lord told me to look up. I looked up and I saw the destroyer. Okay. That was it for that dream. I got an extensive one that shows where I get pulled to what is the last wedding supper of the Lamb. Do you think God gives you joke dreams? God would never do that. I don't even need to ask of my dreams. He's given me enough dreams and enough prophecy until the end of the world. My prophecies, well, his prophecies that he's given me are gonna they've already taken 10 have already taken place. I'm not bragging, I'm not even talking about them. I don't like doing that. Okay, because that to me is boasting. I only boast on the Lord. Because without him, we wouldn't be here. Without Jesus Christ, this world wouldn't have continued. So we're gonna go into sorry guys. I have to preach it too, man. I'm so sick of being stepped on, and I know we're to take hits on the left and hits on the right, but when these Christians are doing it to you, they're casting you asunder. That is attacking in a way. Ignoring is worse than talking. You ask yourself that when you've been in a situation and someone ignores you, it's gonna fester in your brain. Am I right? Then what's gonna fester? You're gonna open the door, and all the evil's gonna come back in. Especially in this day, we are the biggest porthole on this earth. You are. I am. He is. She is. Okay. So one more, because I don't put it up there enough, and then I'm gonna go through Mike and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you every time you see that object, the Sheva, the destroyer. You'll see that reflection with it. That's all Paul Begley had, and he called it Nibiru. And I'm sitting there, no, that's a destroyer. That's a destroyer. Doink! And I'm laughing at it. You know what? Scoffers and mockers. If you don't say anything, remember what Jesus says, what you do to one of these little ones, you do to me. What don't do, you don't do to me. So he just goes doink and blocks me. I sent him all the pictures I sent you, Samuel, and he went doink. Never showed him once. Oh, that's 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 Nibiru. Aren't they all saying Nibiru on Planet X right now? Can someone confirm that to me? What are they saying is this system that's over top of us? What are they calling it? Are they calling it the Destroyer? Man, I've been teaching. I've had that picture for almost 7 years. I've showed that picture to 3 people that didn't believe in God. Oh, you don't think they're seeking God now? Because when you plant a seed into somebody, God increases that seed. And you can water it. Another person on. You need to see that. That's Shiva, the destroyer. And that's its reflection. That's with it every time. Samuel's got the whole thing. So, Jerry, if you want to get the whole thing, I will send it to you. I'm going to send it to Cormac. I will send you the whole thing because this fake Planet X Nibiru junk needs to get out of there. You know, Zachariah Sitchin named it Planet X. That guy believed in Darwinism and Satanism. All you have to do is believe in you came from a monkey and you believe what Satan said. They never found a missing link. Never. If you are not born with the Spirit of God in you, you're going to be a ravaging wolf. And some of these Christians go around like sh- they they look like a sheep, but inside they're ravaging wolves. Yeah, he blocked me last night again. He does it every time he sees. He knows. He's watched this. I know he's come into my channel and watched this. I know he knows that I know what it is. And he doesn't want a little guy like me to get his glory. I don't want glory. Shove your glory where the sun don't shine, buckwheat. He's a false teacher. I don't like to do it. I hate to do it. We're not to chastise these people. Rapture. Uh, I could tell you another one. God's not going to build a building and Satan's going to walk in that. That's not what that means. Okay? They got a mock building. They're going to build a mock temple to fool people. But God's not going to be in that. You can't contain God in a building. It says that straight in the Bible. You can't contain God in a building. He walks with us. He comes through us. No observations of God. Come, oh, Loey's over here, Loey's over in the desert. No, he comes through you and me. The ones who are seeking his face, like I seek the truth from the time I wake up to the time I wake up. And I love it. Even my wife said, "You're not in this world." Of course I'm not. Okay. So let's go through, let's listen to this, and I'll show you the exact time he cut me off. He timed me out, so I jumped on my other character and came in. I said, "Man, you're timing out the truth. Fake prophet. Sorry. I'm tired of it. People need to be exposed. How do you think God's going to reproof people? Through people. He uses us. It's time. Listen, you're not supposed to criticize someone, but he's been told many times the destroyer, showed many times the destroyer. I told him in private. Okay. Many people have. You know what it says? Tell out through the whole congregation. Make sure you're doing it on your heart. I don't want these people listening to a false prophet. That's what he is. He's fake. Okay. Buy this CD. Buy this CD. Oh, we got a conference coming, but oh, we got two high end guys. Just give us more money. I know how much his net worth is, buddies. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich man to make it into heaven. Have you guys heard that phrase before? Yes, crazy. He blocked me, man. He does it all the time to me. All the time. He knows who I am. He's watched The Destroyer in my channel. But he doesn't share that. Oh, it's the binary twin, Nibiru Planet X. Shut up, man. There's no such thing as the binary twin system is an evil system. Okay. And it's all the arrows that God saves up into the destroyer that I recompense your recompense on your head. It's so easy to see. If you do evil, what are you going to get back? You're not going to get good. Not even from God. He's going to chastise you. He chastens the one he loves. So let's hopefully God and Satan are chastening you, because if you're not, you don't know both sides of the story. There's two sides of the story. If you haven't seen both sides, you can't teach that book. Paul Begley has not seen both sides. He doesn't understand. We are going through great tribulation spiritually. And look at the world. Come on, wait till you listen to this. Okay. So I'm done rattling. I'm going to show some pictures now, and I'm going to show you where he cut me off. Okay. Isn't that what the Sadducees and Pharisees did to Jeremiah? Yes, it is. And they're doing it today worse than ever. You wait till you see all these false churches coming out. This one guy, listen. I say the same thing. 2025, 2020. Peace, love. I was like, man, this guy is insane. He had some of the truth, but he said, we're going into another dimension, another realm, all of us. No, we're not. Well, we are. So he was kind of right on that. But he's talking about this God of light, what they're talking about, the fake God, the end out New World Order teachers like Joyce Meyer. She's horrible. She got a facial, and I'm man, she's already been exposed. She's got millions of followers. See, they like following. Itchy ears like following these guys. Paul Begley is an itchy ear teacher. That's it. I'm not trying to go against them. You guys got to see for yourself the false teachings. Man, I've been listening to him for seven years, and every time God shows me, no, that's not how it goes, and then He gives me a dream of it. Not to chastise and chastise him. He needs to be reproved. How do you think God's going to do that? If he's not listening to me, look at him going through heart attacks and eye problems. He's had many signs. I start getting when I go into the dark side, my heart starts. God shows me, man, you're almost dead. I had heart attacks, many heart attacks, many. Every day I was getting them while I was teaching, and I had to go through a trial and tribulation. And that's how I don't do it anymore because God scared me. I'm not ready to go. He said, you're not ready to go, but you're right on the path of death. And I didn't tell him lots of people. And that doesn't come back now. Yes. So that's what they're doing. When you tell them nicely. But I told someone the same thing. I said, please don't send that false teacher to my wife. And man, pages of you're evil. You're this, you're that. You're of Satan. You don't have no fruit. Like, wow. Do you even? She's so, yeah. And it hurts. So I did a show, and man, God fixes everything. Believe that He will fix it. I believe that He was gonna this time. This girl's done this to me. My daughter-in-law's done it to me many times, and her mom. And this time, she was reproached by God. And as I'm on the phone talking to my sister, saying we need to pray for her, she meshes up. My wife accidentally left her phone here, and I seen it come right across. She never does that. I don't know why I left my phone here for this reason. Because I blocked her from the message and I opened up my messaging to her yesterday. Okay. So, and God fixed the whole thing. And she said sorry. And all of her stuff she's ever done to me, which was about 12 pages of pure evil, I didn't even show my wife. I didn't have to. I was getting ready to reprove her severely. And I didn't have to do that. God takes care. So, okay, let me get that back. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to go through some pictures. Some of you guys already said, but we need to get our ears off these guys that are giving rapture false teachings. There is no rapture. I've showed you guys, I've got every verse that Jesus talks about no rapture. God talks about it too. I'm against the women that sew pillows, hunt their souls, and teach them to fly. So what he means by as I'm against the women, the Jezebel spirit is a woman, the harlot whore. I am against the women that sew pillows. So what that is, I'm against the ones that soften their blow. You surely won't die. It's okay. Just kick back. You're gonna get raptured. Get out of here. Just kidding. You know what I mean? I can prove it. There's 40 verses that talk against it in the Bible, at least. Old Testament, too. Lazarus, God sent him two angels. Why? Because one was his. I go to a place and build you a house. That doesn't even make sense. Why, when we're going to be living in the house of God and He's going to control the heat and the cold, there's going to be no wind, no heat, no cold. It's going to be perfect body temperature. And this world is going to be it. And there's going to be the water of life, your favorite drink when you go to take a drink. And there's going to be the tree of life put back here. And it has fruit on it, and the fruit it gives you is sweeter and the best fruit you'll ever change, and it changes every month. So who wouldn't want that? And it's going to be like Mexico, but no evil, and better than Mexico. He's making it bigger, badder, and better than they ever will. And I'm not trying to boast any of this. We're coming into times where we need to get away from these guys with, look at Joyce Meyer. She has millions of people. And yes, the other day I'll show you what she was teaching. This comes naturally. You don't need to be teaching this. Uh, this is a foul teaching in my eyes. This is a teaching that people shouldn't eat. Don't people don't need it. Okay. Oh, I erased it because my wife didn't want me on the messages on her anymore. Anyways, something about walking with wisdom every day. Man, wisdom is given to you only by God and Jesus. You can't earn, well, you earn wisdom. With knowledge comes wisdom, more burdens, too, by the way. No, we can't even imagine the beauty of heaven. I don't know about you guys, but I'm darn sick of this earth. Not the people. I'm just sick of, I don't like the world. Them who love the world have enmity with God, angry separation. Try to teach that to one of these New Ager Christians. They'll lose it on you. Okay. I've had it happen to me many times. I can only tell you. When you tell them the truth, they love their unrighteousness more than the truth. So here's what I'm going to tell you, they love a lie more than the truth. Ain't that so? Another person come in, the destroyer, Sheva, face on it. Okay. You see that? And the sunlight, that's the sun, as you can see there. It's impossible, it's going through it, and that's its reflection, the purple one underneath, and it's with it every time. And I've got tons of pictures, even proving it, videos and everything. You know that that object is stable like the sun. It's not a reflection. Reflections, you can bounce them around all over the screen. Oh, that's a reflection. That's the first thing these people that love a lie say. You have an anomaly on your camera. No, I don't, because I can show you other pictures where nothing like that's in it. Only can catch it when the sun's there and there's not clouds. I showed it to Samuel the other day. I took a picture of it and I showed my YouTube. It's still there 7 years later. Okay. It hasn't been released yet. It's warring right now. You know why? The war in heavens is taking place now. Okay. It's been taking place the whole time. Okay. Because why did Jesus say it's finished? Think he was joking? You are predestinated. If you are of God, you're predestinated. Why would he predestinate Satan's people? They just fall into a pit. They're here to go up against us. And some of them don't know they are. We don't know what they are if to cast pearls and swine at them. But these false preachers that are at the top of YouTube, and I don't even care about how many people are on my channel. That has been removed from my mind. This is what's on that God's put on my mind. Teach people what's coming. Well, they're teaching you coronavirus, Delta and Omega and Alpha is the other ones. What's that? God. They're telling you alone with that God's coming back. You don't think they're watching this thing? They're watching this thing with Lucifer that the Vatican owns on top of a porthole hill, a very special hill. When you see a volcano, why do they say all these lights are around this volcano? Because it's doing the work. It's making the volcano go. God is. Because God's in control. Nothing comes but it comes through Him. He is the master planner. He is our Savior. He has our Savior, which is His Son. Everything He is in control of. But He gave Jesus control of it all too. The three gods in one, the Trinity, is fake. Okay? Why would God put all of His people here and then just collect it back into itself and be one? Doesn't mean that. You are going to be like Jesus. You just don't know. But Jesus is God because everything He thinks comes from God. And that's it. They work as a unit. Like your car has an engine in it. If there's parts broken, that engine is not going to operate. Right now, his car has many broken parts. We're broken. He's fixing them and he's doing it quickly. And he's doing it. Man, some of the things I overcome, I don't even want to talk about because then I go through a test. I've overcome something worse than Satan, by the way, and I didn't do it by myself. Oh, no, I didn't. All I did was seek his face and read his Bible and teach people. He's delivered me. Don't run to man for deliverance. Run to Jesus. He's a great deliverer. What are we supposed to put our trust, all of our trust into Jesus? Yes, we are. Okay. So if you don't put your trust in Jesus that he's gonna deliver you, and no man, I don't run to man for deliverance. Listen, there's deliverance ministries. I think they're bogus. I went to one for 2 years and he cast me out of his church spiritually. And I'd come around with this picture and he'd go, "That's Sheba." I said, "Buddy, I know that's Sheba." His face went evil on me, and then the next church sermon, he spiritually kicked my spirit out of the church. Any church that has open doors, I believe every church, because church and estate can't mix. So church and estate is mixed right now. And the estate tells the church, you have to do it this way, or I'll take your license away. You cannot teach revelations and end times. You know what this church said because I was there? The guy said, "Well, we're in end times, just not in Revelation." Wow, we're getting ready to open the seventh seal. By then, we were only still in the sixth. It's been a long period that we've been in the sixth seal. That seal's getting ready to close out. I can prove that all day to you. I have one of my teachings. You have to go back on. The sixth seal's getting ready to close out. So they missed his coming the first time. It's going to be worse than ever. Because he's coming through not these Pharisees and Sadducees and these big churches. We all know that. Why do you think when I hold church, I always have a little church there? Because there's a little remnant, okay? And I can see that. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to say you're bad, he's good, he's bad, this and that. But Paul Begley, you deserve this. It's coming to you for blocking me and blocking me and blocking me. The Lord's actually, and Mike says, "Well, don't ever do that." Oh, come on, man. The guy has been reproved by me many times. That's it. I'm done talking about it because people are leaving. They don't understand. God uses people to reprove people. Okay. Before he comes, the people say, "Listen, you're teaching wrong. You're not on the right area. You're not on the right track of God. Listen to what God has to say." And they don't. Okay. So I'm going to go with this and I'm going to show the rest of the pictures. People are leaving. So I'm not trying to, hey, man, I love the guy. I got saved on Pastor Paul Begley's show. And God needs them. You know why God uses these false teachers? So that you can hear the voice. If you're not hearing the voice and you're not hearing the truth of Jesus and you're listening, you got false, itchy ears, false teaching, doctrine, itchy ears. Peter says the number two thing that makes people fall is false doctrine. That set with me hard. I have that in my Bible. It's let me go to Peter here. And Peter was warning people, and he said the number two thing that makes people fall is false doctrine. So I was like, whoa, okay, well, now I have to start talking. And then Mike started going, well, you can't do that. You can't do that. Well, the Bible says you can reprove people if you do it with your heart. I'm not doing it to attack him. I'm actually doing it so all his people really want to hear the truth. That's where they can hear it, right? And they're not hearing it. Okay, so let me find it. How come I can't find it? There it is. So 1966 in my Bible. Sorry, guys, and then we're gonna go right with this, okay? Why is it giving me troubles? Always when I go to do this, I have to like. Usually, I can just flop it open on there. Where did I find that? Thought it was Peter. Okay, guys. Sorry. Let's get on. I don't remember where I saw it. One of the epistles said the number two thing that makes people fall there is false doctrine, because they're not hearing. It's only even makes sense if you're not hearing the truth of Jesus. Are you of him? No, you're not. That's what it says in the Bible. They couldn't even read the Bible. He gave it to them in parables, and they still didn't understand. I understood it. Okay, I understood it the first time I read it. The sower and the seed. That's a parable. I understood that like you wouldn't believe. It was like really easy for me. Like, how do these people not see that? But, anyways, I'm reproving people and I'm stopping it right now. I'm going to show you guys. We're going to play on with this now. Because it's only about an hour, so I filled my time already. Heaven are shaken. Then that means all this time they have not been shaken, which means they've been stable. But if they're shaken, right? If the powers of heaven are shaken, then the physics, right? The celestial mechanics, everything that holds everything in place is going to begin to waver. And if it wavers, now things are going to get through. You're saying that the powers of heaven are going to be shaken because Jesus said it. But what's the cause of them? Again, are we back to the binary system again? Because it seems like the binary system is what's causing it. Okay, so that's where he blocked me. Chaos. Well, I believe it is. I believe it is binary system. How close is this thing, Mike? I mean, are we months away? Again, years away? I'll tell you this. It doesn't have to get. I'll tell you this. I believe we're in a binary system. All the mathematics point to a binary system. Right. I agree with you. I agree with you all too. The discovered perturbations in the orbits of most planets, right? You have to. Yep. You don't have to change the formulas when you take into account we're in a binary system. I agree. Right? I agree. All the signs of a binary system are coming true of a binary system. So, and within that binary system is a destroyer. You might as well say, but it doesn't. What did he say? A destroyer. He said that 4 times. I've been saying that for 6 years, and nobody gives me an ear. It's sad. I've had revelation, 6 dreams of Jesus in there. Jesus' revelation that he gave to John on Patmos before he was even born. God gave it to him to give to his servants. You see? God gave it to Jesus, his master servant, for you. He's doing it through me. He's working for the little babes. Not working through some guy that has, give me money, buy this idol. I'm selling a coin today. They're going to give you this coin. No idols in the heavens, on the earth, or under the earth. You see me wearing crosses. You don't see me wearing crosses. Do you think Jesus wants to come back and see what man killed him on everybody's wall all over? That's an idol. Okay. Don't want to have some things that have crosses. It's not like you don't have to be so tight with it because he died for a lot of the commandments. There's 600 and some commandments, right? And reading your Bible day and night is commandment. Why is everybody leaving? I'm just getting started.
Have to get as close as people think, and that's one of the problems. You don't have to see it for it to totally just take us out.
I got
right?
you.
You don't have to see it.
It don't have to go by so close that we see it.
No.
Just whizzing by our solar system. Now, when you say that there's a binary system has a destroyer, are you talking about a second celestial body?
No, I think that. I think it's one of the orbiting objects around.
So God takes it with them. Watch, go to the end of Egypt of God, and you'll see the God coming to fight Cain, and Cain killed him. By the way, there's no way they turn it around, right? But they show some truth in it. God was pulling the destroyer. So that was Jesus, actually, because Jesus comes back. He looks exactly like he says he comes back. He has a long hair, long beard, white beard. Jesus is in control of everything right now. God is a spirit. God's working through all of us and him, and Jesus is coming through us. So what does that mean? He's using us. Okay, I haven't even showed some of these pictures yet, and everybody's leaving. I showed the main one. That one there alone tells you it's the destroyer, Sheva the destroyer. So in 17, one time when it passed in 17 something, they drew it a picture of it yellow with skull and bones, meaning death, the destroyer. So man always gives it a different name. I get out of it. If some person goes, oh yeah, it could be Nibiru, I'm gone. You're not getting the information from God. Okay? It's not Nibiru. It's not Planet X. Let's keep going.
A secondary sun, right? Because if we live in a binary system, most binary systems, each one will have a type of solar system or something orbiting them, right?
Yes.
The ancients described what they saw. They in fact, one of the direct interpretations was only a fool would think it's like any other star. It's not. They said it was more like an octopus with a black hole in the center, an eye. They called it an eye with many tentacles that would reach down to the surface of Earth.
Okay, so that I'm sorry I have to stop it, but that's what the Egyptians showed. They showed a round red object with wings on it casting down snakes on the earth. See, he doesn't even have the full story of it. The destroyer was given a full story of that to me, by Jesus. Okay? So the spirit of John is going through many people right now. That's Revelations. That's given by Jesus. So you might want to say Jesus is the spirit. He is the spirit of revelations, prophecy. Okay? Every word he said was powerful. Every word. Nothing he used in vain. Just like does God use things in vain? You read in the Bible, God names the stars. Why are you going to name a star? Because if it's a floating piece of debris, why does it have a name? Because a star is a messenger or an angel and a messenger. Okay? What are you? A messenger. So let me go on and play more. So I don't know where everybody's gone off to, but unless YouTube cut them off, man, this just started. I've got another little bit here. I do believe it's half an hour with Mike showing you pictures. And then I'm going to cut off because I have to cut out. I'm going to miss my friend Harry at my mom's place. But yeah, I've got God's putting things together. So everything's going to be ready for me. Because I'm going to have to leave to become fully righteous. I can't have a woman. Okay? Because that's one of my sins. lust. Anything to do with sex, I can't have, right? And it doesn't matter who leaves. Okay, I don't really care. I'm not about who. If there's one person I'm teaching, that's it. The others can
They said that sometimes it appears as a redly glow, but that's not necessary because by the time you see that redly glow, it's too late. All of them say it's too late. Once you see it, it's too late. The effects, however, match up with ancient writing.
even showed it. Look how it shows yellow on mine. Doesn't mean it's red. And then the reflection is carrying the red. But by the time it gets here, it's going to be too late. My warnings have been given out many times. This is about my 10th show, not if 20th show on the Destroyer, because I'm teaching what's really coming. And then right after that, we were delivered. We'll be up in the clouds, and the people that thought they were of God will be blaspheming. And I'm not looking forward to that because you will be watching from the clouds the ones you loved, and God will erase that from you, wipe your tears away. That's what that means. Okay? So let's keep going. Let's do some pictures now. I have to get a drink, so give me a second.
Perfectly.
Okay.
Uh, these progressive events or this progressive phenomenon that we're going through is matching up perfectly with what happened to all those civilizations in the past. And I believe that in those other civilizations, they saw a fast orbiting body around a stationary sun. Now, a fast orbit. This will blow your mind because there are certain planets that can orbit a stationary body. They're so quick, they're so fast that within about 7 days, it's made a complete orbit. It takes us a year to do that. But think about something orbiting that way in 7 days. Now, think about the debris that's around this system because a system with one object normally has tons of debris orbiting also, right?
Yes.
They also have tons of asteroid belts lined in rings around that entire sun. So that means if it's inbound, we're going to get hit by its asteroid belts. We're going to hit our asteroid belts first.
It's like a pinball machine. Like a pinball machine?
And that's when we see many objects, much debris. Will slam into us. In those days, it's going to be too late. Prior to that time, we're going to see signs of a buildup of a meteor storm. And this section of that meteor storm
2 weeks ago.
is about 2 million miles wide. We're not going to escape it.
2 million miles
And it's
wide.
going to be, this thing is pretty deep. So it's not going to skim away from us. It's not going to miss us. It's going to hit us. And debris and chunks like that, some of the larger objects, which have more gravity, they're going to stay closer to the sun. The smaller objects are going to get flung out. So we're going to have some of the smaller objects come in first. One of the biggest issues, and this is a lot of underground facilities are big. Or let's just.
Okay, so I had to stop it because I had to explain. You see how when its reflection goes away, it goes away. It has that red orb. It's hard to see now. And there it is. So actually shows that it's going up because the wings are coming down. It has wings. It looks like it has wings, but it's not wings. That's what they saw in Egyptian. You know, this is the last time the destroyer is going to pass, man. And it's already here. It's already doing its work. Iniquity is abounding. Love is waxing cold. People are turning on people, Christians on Christians. The Christians are turning on me because I'm teaching the truth, and they don't go, "Well, this guy can't have the truth. He was a wicked sinner." Jesus comes back for the sinner. We need a physician. He goes, "Why would you go to a physician when you don't need one and you're not sick?" Well, we were sick. I can tell you right now. Man, he's working through. I see him like 50 times a day in my life at least. For the things I'm going through, he fixes. And wow, when he starts doing that to you, your faith builds. Your faith. He's increasing your faith. God is the only one that can increase your faith. He can also take it down, decrease it. Okay. So if you're sinning, you're going to decrease. But when you come back to him, it's going to be going right back where it was. You're not going to lose anything. Everything is a blind show. Okay. So I showed you this one was 2 weeks ago. I took a picture. I could probably today, when the sun comes out, I'll do one more today. I don't have time. But I've got pictures of this thing for 6 years. Okay. So let's keep going.
Say they're reinforced to withstand fires on top of the earth.
Okay.
Right? Not so much flooding, right? Not so much a very deep impact, but fires on top of the earth. Because if we get the small debris that hits our asteroid belt,
I had to stop that. Fires on the earth. He keeps saying that wormwood is going to impact the earth. Wormwood's an angel. It's already here. It's making our waters bitter and the rivers bitter. Doesn't mean it's going to be an impact. It's an angel that's doing it because God's doing it all. And he uses angels. People have that wrong.
by the way, if anything comes into this system, it's going to disturb the asteroid belts. We're going to see that debris coming from that asteroid belt right here to this Earth. And one of the problems is some of the material from the asteroid belt has been identified by several probes. It's in our beaches, right? So what's it doing here? What is it doing here? Why do we have tons and tons of debris from our own asteroid belt? Why is that even possible? Anyway, that's because something disturbed us a few times, and it carries it's a toxic, gaseous cloud around this thing too. So it's not like people can breathe when this thing comes near. Now you're looking at an event. These events will take place long before it ever really gets here to I'll call it a detonation point or point.
You already are. See, everything Mike says, he's even a little bit behind on.
Long before that ever happens, we're going to notice these things.
Are we going to have extreme? Are we going to, when you say notice, are we going to have extreme weather conditions beyond anything we've seen before?
Worse than that, Pascal. Parts of the atmosphere missing would allow temperatures in space, right, to be felt on the surface of the Earth. Just about every scientist believes that this is why things were. When you have bees frozen in flight, right, and they're kind of sideways, like they were falling next to a flower, but they're frozen perfectly like that. So, that's an instant freeze.
Yeah.
There's no time to even think that you're froze. When they have animals feeding, that's an instant freeze. You have plants that are bloomed.
Yeah.
That's an instant freeze.
Yeah.
Right. They were just frozen right there in place.
So you're saying
animals eating.
So you're saying some kind of a deep freeze will just come under the earth.
I can't even play them now. So they're on to me. I go to play it and it just goes question mark. That's unreal. I just showed all these to Samuel. Now it's not letting me play it.
Earth.
Do you know what it takes?
What
it takes to do that?
What?
If a meteorite, 50, let's say 50 feet wide, right?
Okay.
With enough velocity.
Yeah.
Hit our atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right the ionosphere. It's enough to take off a portion of the atmosphere. And what would happen with that is, after it gave suction on the trail of it going out, and it sucked up our atmosphere, it would leave a hole in the atmosphere. The atmosphere would have to repair itself. Cold air, while it's repairing itself, would come right down through that hole. That's why in 2004, the emergency talks took place. Listen, folks, now you guys don't have to subscribe to this, but the true reason behind all this global warming nonsense is because of a magnetar. A magnetar hit the atmosphere. When it hit the atmosphere, it took a chunk of the atmosphere off, and people were instantly microwaved in those areas.
What?
There was no protection. People died during that event. Right after it hit, they called emergency meetings of the world, and they said, how can we build up the atmosphere so we have some sort of protection?
Are you serious?
So there are things behind the scenes that a lot of people, they just don't know yet.
This, Heidi?
They don't know yet.
Are you serious? Heidi says yes, baby. It happened. Are you serious?
Yeah.
It happened.
Well, there's a lot of things behind the scenes people don't know yet.
his wife in. Yeah, see Heidi. Oh, I just gotta move on.
A lot of subjects because it was so far out of timing, right? Their belief system was just not there yet. It would be a wasted conversation.
Is it coming again, Mike?
I mean, which is it? Now.
Okay, which is it, Mike? Are we going to deep freeze first, or are we going to explode into fire and flames from internally, externally?
No, we'll freeze and then it will turn into fire.
Oh, so we're going to have both. We're going to have fire.
We're going to have. Listen, we're going to have. You can expect just about every bad celestial happening from the heavens, from interactions with the heavens and earth to take place. That means in the wintertime, just beware, right?
So you're saying extreme.
That's what I'm saying. Beware.
Extreme weather conditions.
They're going to see some temperatures and some phenomena. Listen, it could be in the dead of winter, and one day it could be minus 20 degrees. The next day it can be 88 degrees, just like that, right?
So, are you serious?
Like that. So that damages when you have temperature fluctuations like that, all right? Yeah. And if you have any event with sustained heat, that causes a lot of insect death. That insect death is going to correspond to a lot of animal deaths, right?
Yeah.
Those animal deaths will be a reflection of the.
My God told me right away how to fix it. Crazy, I wasn't playing any of them. He showed me right away. Because he knows I need to use this.
They can convert food, and so they don't have watches and clocks, but they get less and less daylight. So they're very hypersensitive to how much light they're receiving, how much, how many bugs are flying around, this, that, and the other, in all these sustained systems. So expect a deep interrupt in that, right? A real interrupt. So a freezing winter, that's going to be followed by a fiery time right after that. If not in the middle of that, we have volcanism happening all over the earth. Cold weather is not going to slow it down because the earth is continuing to heat as we have external influences charging up the sun, which in turn charges up the earth, and we're picking up more and more galactic cosmic rays that are interacting with the earth in very odd, strange ways. For example, remember I was telling you about the bones of human beings becoming brittle, right?
Yes.
People having teeth problems more now than ever. I mean, more now than ever. So it's causing a physical effect on just about everybody. Cancer being a mutated cell, it is, you have DNA mutations happening all over the place due to a lack of nutrition. That lack of nutrition is only made worse by increased radiation.
Who's working on all this, Mike?
Or dealing with higher amounts of radiation.
Is the global elitist working on any of this, or are they just saying, guys, here's the deal, what's coming. Let's prepare underground cities. Let's start building superhumans. Let's get superhuman transhumanism and computer.
So you can see the yellow object, and when the red object gets near, it lights and highlights its object, the destroyer. And it's not necessarily red, Mike said. Not yet. You won't see it. That's what I said. I only seen the redness when it was in our vicinity, right over top of us. Stopped. Okay? And it was moving. And it was deploying demons. I recompense your recompense on your head. So I'm going to show you it. You've seen how it highlights that yellow object. It belongs to that. When it goes away, the red hue goes away from the reflection. When it comes over, the destroyer goes, whang! It shows it totally. We're proving, as Samuel will be able to tell you, he had doubts on it, and I sent him these pictures. I sent these to Paul Begley, and he knew that I was teaching the real truth, but he wants the money. He wants the glory. It talks about people stealing people's glory. This ain't my glory. This is just something I do. He is stealing my glory. I bet you on this next conference he has, all the information's been given from little channels like me because he watches me. He saw that personally because I put it on his Facebook. And so many people, oh, it's a reflection. That's, shut up. You don't even know what it is. You don't even understand what the destroyer is. So you can't be saying it's a reflection. Sammy will tell you different. He's got all the pictures. So does Junior Pre, and Cormac's going to have them. And whoever would like them, I will send them to you. Join me on Facebook, Rodney Page, with a capital R and a capital P and a space. So capital and the rest small, Rodney. Space, capital P, pages and book. I'm on every page. Pepage. So when someone asks me, how do you spell your last name? I tell them, you have a book beside you? Because I'm on every page. Anyways, and I'm not trying to boast. I'm just like making a little bit fun at it, okay? So I'm going to keep going on with the pictures. I don't know. They weren't working. And God told me exactly what to do. He actually popped up on my screen. I had to repunch in to get into them to play them. That happened right when I was going, what the heck, I can't show them. So, and some of the pictures I have are not mine, but the Destroyer, the ones that I'm showing you now, are all mine, given to me by God.
Your systems. I mean, have they given up, or are they working on?
No. Well, first of all, they can give up, but what a person would call a global elitist. We really have to define that one day, because
there's corporations.
Demonstration comes out, people say, wait a minute, let me go back and recalculate what I thought in the first place. That's when I'll be free to talk about some things. But prior to that time, popularity rules. And unfortunately, if you say something too far left or too far right,
yes,
nobody hears it. They can't hear it yet. So it takes people to experience things for them to be receptive to it. And so there's a lot coming forward, because there are a lot of changes that are about to happen. In fact, we're on the way of a milestone in global changes here. We're on our way, and it's not long. I believe that's why people's spirits are troubled. So with the earth having volcanism and floods and these things, I'm telling you right now, that's a normal process in comparison to the changes we're going to see.
All right, now Heidi has a question. That's great. I want to hear what she's got to say here. What do you have, Heidi? Say it loud enough so everybody can hear you.
Well, I don't know that it's a question necessarily. It's
a statement.
It's an observation.
Okay.
But Mike, you told us about a year ago or more. You said there's going to be a time when we're going to be seeing a lot of death, and unfortunately, we've lost a lot of friends here.
Hi, Mom. I'm on YouTube right now doing a show on the Destroyer. So, you know when Mike mentioned the Destroyer last night? Before that, he was talking about the binary system. I was putting on there. Yeah, I was putting on there the Destroyer. Paul Begley blocked me.
Are you there?
Yeah. Of course I'm here. So I'm trying to explain to you last night when Mike was teaching about the binary system, and he said the Destroyer. How long have I been teaching on the Destroyer, Mom?
Oh, I don't know.
Longer than a year, definitely. I've had those pictures. I've been showing you those pictures for 6 years.
I watched it last night, but I couldn't make heads or tails out of it. Talked too much.
Who?
I was trying to listen to it when you called, and then Harry and I talked too much. It was just, I couldn't make it out at all.
Yeah,
I have to watch it again.
Okay, so Mike was talking about the binary system, and he goes, the Destroyer. Again, I've been talking about the Destroyer for 5 years. I got way more information than Paul Begley.
Are you coming today for the...
Yeah, I just don't know what time. I'm going to wait till my...
I think you're going to take the key from me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know what they've done with the spare ray.
Wow. Who'd you get? What Lynn has done with the spare?
But they do have a spare.
Okay. That's okay,
well, I need to know, because I got to call Auntie Lynn and tell her that you're going to take the truck.
Yeah, call her and tell her that.
Because otherwise they won't let it move.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, Mom. Tell them today, yeah.
Well, I have to let them know.
Okay, yeah, of course you do, but I have to let you go because I'm online right now. I'll see you today, Mom. I gotta let you go because I'm doing a show, right? So, and that's what I didn't want to happen. Just happened. That's why I gotta let you go.
Yesterday and that.
What?
Got a microwave yesterday.
Oh, good, Mom. I'll talk to you today.
I was hearing my computer's working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
JC's got it is working.
Okay.
I plugged it in wrong, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, Mom. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Within the last month, we've lost some great generals. We've lost Rustistar today.
Yeah, Rush Star Sister. A great amount of death is already here, so I didn't want Mom to be calling me at this time. I didn't want to talk. I'm doing a show here. I'm doing a Destroyer show for the last time. Well, maybe. This one should be kicker good. I didn't want, and I don't listen to either of those. They both stuffed me under the carpet, so you know what? Why would I? And I only listen when Mike's on because I don't believe a single word that comes out of the other guy's mouth, because if you're speaking vain teachings, it makes all your vain teaching. You are the harlot, whore spirit, fornicating God's word with rapture. Sorry, but rapture is fornication of God's word, and that's a devil spirit that does that. So, and they're going to be blind. Even these top guys, he's asking questions. Yes, I've been showing these pictures. Well, there's one on here you haven't seen because I took it just recently. Okay, so I'm there. Good. That's why I didn't want someone to call and interfere. But yeah, uh, we need to get out of these false teachers. Oh, quit giving them money, okay? Because all we're doing is feeding. They need to be. And you know what? God's going to rip all his people when they find out there's no rapture. I feel actually sorry for Paul. They're going to look to murder him. They're gonna they're gonna be so mad. There's these people that follow him. They love itchy ears, and that's why they listen to him. He's an itchy ear false prophet. I straight out and told him last night, false prophet. I came back on with my other account and said, false prophet. I don't care. Okay. It doesn't mean I hate the guy. I'm trying to go against him. I'm not. God is using people to reprove people right now, and if they don't see it, then God will speak to them himself, and I'm trying to avoid that. Okay, my daughter saw that the other day, and I forgive anybody. She said everything that you can possibly say evil about a Christian, the evil things a Christian does, and I didn't complain or fight back with her. I said, oh, it's okay. And I think she watched my show, and God showed her with my show that he backs my words up. When I speak of him, I open my Bible, there it is, speaking of it. Yeah, so that's why I believe, you're not giving me a second. He has saved a lot of people, maybe because covers many sins. I think he is of God. He's just not, he doesn't know both sides of the story fully. He hasn't been on the dark side. This guy he's had a Bible in his hand since he was a little kid. His grandfather was a preacher. His dad was a preacher. He's a preacher. He hasn't gone through tribulation. And I believe he's been going through some of it. That's why his eye and his heart, and he had chemo. Come on, God's trying to wake him up and tell him you may need want to reset, and he doesn't. Okay, so and I'm not to do that, and I'm not putting the guy down. I don't hate him. He has brought in a lot of people to the Lord. But are they of him? Because if they're not hearing Jesus' voice, Jesus says, they're not of my sheepfold. I'll prove it to you. My people hear my voice. My sheep hear my voice. In a stranger he won't follow. They're strangers to me. I don't even understand that. So is God going to reprove them? Yes. He didn't let me get to that point. I don't want to I'm not putting them down. but he is a Pharisee and Sadducee. There's one, Nicodemus, that might have made it to heaven. Remember, he's the one that came questioning Jesus at night. How do I get back? How do I go through a woman? How do we go through water? How am I born? Oh, I better not do that because I'll lose it again. Okay, so let's keep going. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it anymore, right? I said my piece. If people can't pick that up, then you might have itchy ears and maybe God will reprove you too. I'm not saying no one's going to hell. I'm not casting pearls before swine. I am reproving because I'm doing it out of my heart. If you're doing it out of your heart, I'm not looking to destroy Pastor Paul Begley at all. He saves. He's got a biggest opportunity more than most people in the world do because he has a big crowd, but he won't profess the truth. Not even Mike's told him. He goes on after and he says Planet X Nibiru. Okay, so he can't be reproved by anybody but God. Okay, so I don't even know what I'm doing, right? Yeah. Okay. You can't serve two gods, money and mammon. Mammon's a demon, or sorry, God and mammon. Mammon's money. And with lots of money comes a demon. They get given over to a delusion over their money. And they usually don't come back. Okay. If you're given over to a delusion by God, you better pray you can get out of it. You probably won't. It talks about that in the Bible.
We lost Shelley Distar. We lost Ron Skiba. We had a family
It's not Skiba, it's Skiba.
suddenly die, and this is becoming just very
Common.
throughout our own church, online church family, and so we're seeing it happen now, Mike.
Well,
So the two would take
prepare themselves, right,
Mhm.
to get ready for their loved ones to go.
Mhm.
To really go. But it's so very difficult to talk about a situation like that, to tell the saints, hey, listen, you know, you have to understand what death is now, right? And get it in your spirits so that you're not broken when it happens. And it really is time for us to entertain the spiritual truth behind this, right? For a saint, nobody goes anywhere until Jesus says they're going. And back then, call it insight, call it what you will, but it was almost as if the Lord had sent people here to this earth, which he does, to train people in certain areas, right? Almost like first grade, second grade, third grade. Now, once he trained them, that whoever trained them, that their job was finished. They were not to endure, right, being a foot soldier on the front lines. That's not what they were to be. Everything they went through was so they could gain experience and faith so that others, because if it's one thing we can perceive is if another believes in what they're saying, we have discernment from above. So we can tell that, right? God qualified them with some things that.
Okay, so Paul Begley's not liking that. I saw his facial expressions. He's like, okay. I was sent to be a reprover, to talk about the destroyer, and of course the gospels. That's installed in everybody. Okay? So I'm very good at that. I'm very good at because the Lord's given me that to train people. If you're getting training from a false teacher, all their teaching is in vain, by the way. So here's a scripture. If a little leaven gets into the bread, what happens to the whole loaf? You have to hear Jesus' words. The whole loaf is leavened. So God used nothing in vain. If God used things in vain, he's not God. So if a teacher is teaching lots of vain, and I can tell you, and I'm not going there. I got lots of dirt on this guy, tons of dirt on this guy, and I'm not even going to talk about the rest of it because that stuff doesn't even affect me. It's what he's teaching, God's or Jesus teaching that he's given to me on here, and on film to prove it. And he's teaching them Nibiru on Planet X. You know what that does in Rapture and the abomination of that makes it desolate? It's already there. It's a three split nation. It's already split. God said, if you split my nation, I'll split yours. He split the whole world. The whole world is split against itself. So if something is against itself, can it stand? Answer me, somebody. If a nation is against itself, can it stand?
He didn't qualify anybody else with. And if he didn't send them, people would not, their ears wouldn't perk up when you start talking about certain subjects, like spiritual things, right? Because there was a time when nobody wanted to hear about anything spiritual, or anything demonic, right? Any of that stuff. They just want to have a good time. But that was also when we were spoiled with, certain aspects of the world. But the Lord sent these trainers to get people back on track to say, hey, listen, the spiritual realm is real. The end times is real. And they sowed seeds. Now, once they sowed these seeds, their building part was done, right? They built the top, what the apostles built the top, and Jesus Christ is that cornerstone. And so now, we being fellow laborers, we have a role. I would be so bold to say this. Though we have a lot of people that will go, they will go because the race is finished. They did their part, right? There are a lot of people right now who feel something within themselves. They're saying, I know I have to get up and do this. I don't want to do it, but I know I got to get up and do this. I don't want to face it, but I know I'm.
Okay, so God's put that into me. I kept my mouth shut. I'm not against him. Okay. He's the one that's telling me because he can't be reproved. So he's constantly giving him warnings through me. No. What's no to? If a nation is divided against itself, it will not stand. What are you saying no to? I don't even know. Oh, you're leaving, Samuel? Okay, buddy, God bless you. You know this show. You got it all on your film. 100% to you. Okay. I'm just doing this for because sometimes I make them and then people stop and then I'm just going to keep making it every like month or two. Okay. And it's storing the information everywhere. I want to give this information to everybody for free. Oh, you need your stuff, sweetie? Sorry, guys. This information's free. I'm going to start sending it to Cormac here. Um, it's all free. I don't charge nothing. We shouldn't. This is the end time. We shouldn't be charging for conferences, right? What? Oh, nothing. She's just half awake and she wasn't making sense. So I told her I'll see her later after your appointments. You can take me there. You can come and then we'll just come home. Oh, to the answer to your question, that's right. So a nation that's divided against itself cannot stand. The whole world, even the Christians right now, are divided. It's horrible. Like it's bad. Okay. And I don't want to add to it. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to diss Paul Bagley. I believe he's a man of God, but he has much pride, money, and things in the way. God's going to have to remove it. And if he is God's children, God will remove it. Okay. So this was April 20th, 2020. Date up there. I don't give you same pictures over and over. Come on, man. I'm not a deceptive person. I don't believe in deception. Okay. My eyes are getting so wide open, you guys don't even understand. I've almost overcome everything. My time has almost come where I go into that camp because they when they get let loose to take us to this camp, I'm going to be one of the first people. Hello, I'm a physician. There's going to be a guard standing behind them, and yeah, you need to be getting your shots. Yeah, if you don't get your shots, then we have to take you to a re-education camp. It's okay. You're going to be okay. You're just going there for like 2 weeks. We're going to show. We're gonna re-educate you because this new coming that's coming. And as soon as you go in there, they're gonna rip your clothes off. You're gonna be naked, cold, lonely, hungry, and they're gonna be zapping you for 10 days. Satan throws you in jail for 10 days. I don't know why everybody went and left, but hey, man, you guys can think I'm judging, but I'm righteous. God has me doing this because this guy, yeah, it's everywhere. This guy's been getting away with it too long, lying and deceiving his people and asking for money. Listen, you'll get more, like Mike even said, you'll get more information from a little buck like me than you ever will from a Pharisee and a Sadducee. Okay, so let's finish this out, playing this out.
Have to face something. And so let me just go ahead and do it. It's almost like we have an understanding of something that we have not consciously accepted fully yet. But there's a whole new group of people rising up, a whole new group that can deal that is they're sent here to walk in conditions that the average person can't walk in. And these guys, they were almost like lone gunmen, if you will. They were the only ones doing what they were doing to the degree they were doing it. No matter what they were called, no matter what the story was, they sowed millions of seeds. And without them, the faith level would not be there for people to continue in these diverse times, to continue on with the various ministries.
Okay, so Samuel had it kind of right. He's sowing seeds. I believe God's going to save him. I'm not going up against him. You got to understand. I'm just trying to wake people up a little quicker to his false doctrine so they're not, so the time's running out. So I got a picture here, and when it talks about God's presence, when he's in your presence on my birthday, I'm going to show you that. He's a rainbow roundabout with a white light in it. That's exactly what Moses saw. Because God can't look on even Moses, God couldn't look on him. That's why he said, put your arm in my bosom. And when Moses, this proves rapture wrong. Way back. Moses is way back. So he put his arm into his bosom and he pulled it out and it was light. His glorified body, a part of it, God was showing to him. That's transfiguration, the hill of transfiguration. That's transforming, not rapture. And it happens in a twinkling of an eye. So you can use that twinkling of an eye as rapture. That ain't true. Because even the people that don't believe in God and Jesus and hell and Satan, I saw a post of people getting raptured, and the person told me I don't believe in God or Jesus, so why are you putting that up on the post? And every single body was going up. Not even like a twinkling of an eye, it's just one at a time. No. This is when the destroyer comes, many are gonna be gone. And I do believe the Christians are gonna be up in the cloud. They're not gonna be gone. Where are you going to? There's gonna be heaven and earth is being destroyed right now because heaven's coming down, and it's God has controversy on this earth, so he consumes it with the brightness is coming. The people that are evil, more evil will show, more evil will show. People like me, more light will show, because we're getting ready to be transformed into our body of light. No flesh or blood can enter him in the King of God. So the kingdom. So, we're going to get raptured out of the. No, you're not getting raptured. Come on, it's easy to see. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, God, Jesus, and Enoch say no. So if God said it, then I'm good. I don't need to hear from anybody else. But all these other teachers said no. In Enoch, it says in time at the beginning page, it says, "I will remove the wicked and godless." Jesus said the same thing. Okay, I've got all the. Oh, I better get going. So here I'm gonna keep doing because my thing wants to go off here. Some more destroyer.
Streets, right? Because the Lord will bring them all together. He'll unify everything, and it will always.
I just said that.
Each one of these guys was critical to what the Lord was doing here, because He's raising this generation that we read about so much, that they loved their lives not unto death, which means they didn't care about their lives. They cared about the Lord Jesus Christ. Now think of that mentality. A person who's walking in this world who is not shaken by anything. He won't move left or right. The beast can't do anything with him. Demons can't do anything with him. And they just keep charging forward. That takes a lot of training. That takes a lot of foundational education.
Should we prepare? Should we get strong? I mean, okay.
We should prepare? Come on, that's blasphemy. I've been preparing for 7 years. If we should prepare now?
Because all of them get there. There are certain people, Pastor Paul, that it's, I don't know, it's maybe the Lord gave it to me or whatever, but you can tell when a person is not to endure certain things.
Yeah.
Right? You can almost tell when they're not to endure certain things. Right? So it's very good for people to be educated.
Yeah, it's sort of like Josiah. King Josiah.
There's a lot of people going.
King Josiah was told, "Hey, rebuild the temple of God, tear down all the high places of the pagans." And then when he got it all done, he said, "I'm going to take you home early. I don't want you to see the judgment I'm going to put on Israel."
That's right.
You think some of that might be going on right now?
Absolutely. I think the Lord he's making this call, that should be an alarm clock for every believer out there to say, hey, wait. Things are speeding up just like the Lord said He would. If He didn't shorten the time, no flesh would have been saved, right? But He did. He's very thorough in what He does, and He doesn't run by our clocks. So we can tell things are speeding up all around. Often we have to be motivated. The Lord is going to do what He's going to do, but the ultimate ending is our victory. Everything He's doing is not against us; it is for us. And if you notice, it's only key position people who are leaving.
Yeah,
but they always had. Now that's the amazing thing.
Right.
Every single person that's being called home right now has students. They had students.
Yes.
One of them has students. So the information is in the earth. It's already sown. Yeah. Their race is finished. Right. Even me, I know I have to walk in a time when it's not very nice to walk in, but I'm able.
Yeah. So I have students too, and my studentry is to teach about the destroyer and false teachers and but I'm not going to put rapture because that's false teaching. A little bit of wrong teaching makes all of his teaching vain. So we got to kind of be careful, but we don't want to put the guy up on and destroy him. No, I've been trying to wake this guy up for 7 years, and last night he did it again to me. Before even Mike said the destroyer, I was saying the destroyer. It's not Nibiru. It's not Planet X. Because people are saying, that's Nibiru. No, it's not. There's Planet X teachers teaching on Satan. Because Planet X was given by Zechariah Sitchin, which was a Satan cultist. So August 16, 2020. There it is with its red reflection. And you notice when the reflection goes away, the redness of the reflection goes away. And when it comes back, the red reflection comes back and it highlights its object, proving so. Highlighting that object. I only have one picture of Sheva. That's a crucial picture. So August 16, 2020. Red reflection. See how it goes? It starts going away. Either way you push it, it goes away. Then it comes back and highlights the object, proving that's not a reflection, that's not swamp gas, that's not a ship, that is the destroyer. So even see, there's its reflection way over there, no red hue. And then as soon as it comes, there's a red hue. Red hue highlights it, you see? It's so easy to see what that is. And that's all I'm going to show on the destroyer. I have many other pictures, lots of pictures on Paul Begley, which as soon as I was putting those pictures up, I was being deleted from his master server and left on one where all people that are going to know the truth were on. I don't know. It was weird. I can't even explain that. But soon as I was putting, it's not Planet X, it's the Destroyer on Paul Begley's Facebook. I saw the mediator erasing it immediately. I've told this guy many times. I've never really tell him false teacher. I don't like to do that, but he is a false prophet. Okay. And I don't know if he's of God or if he really isn't. I can't be judging that. I don't cast my pearls before swine.
to do that. And after that, there's something in me that tells me I'm just not going to be here. Right? I mean, I've seen some things, my own demise, but that if the Lord showed.
He just said he's seen his own demise. So God shows people, and Peter saw his own demise, and I saw mine own demise. Ain't long that I'm in front of you guys, giving you this truth that the Lord gives me. I have evening ones too, yes, of angels. You've seen those, buddy. I just don't want to, like, we're running out of time here. I give enough about the destroyer. This is about the destroyer, not the angels, right? So I got pictures of angels at night, and it's exactly what Ezekiel explains. It looks like a torch, it looks like a pearl. I got that in the day. It looks like pearl, looks like torch. And God's present is rainbow with a white light in it, roundabout, round. That's God's presence on my birthday. And then my street started turning purple, and I watched this haze being poured out. And my wife said, "I've never seen anything like that." I pour my spirit out on all flesh. It does it different times. On my birthday, last year, August 24th, God was there. Man, that white light, man, it doesn't look nothing. I have to send you that video, and it won't let it send, so I have to tape it off of here because after so many years, oh, it's too old to send. And I'm like, are you stupid? I want to wreck. But that's why I do these shows, right? Because I can't really give all of it. Like Samuel, I gave him enough. He was like, wow, I've been watching you for a while. And when I first started watching you, I didn't believe those were real. Cormac's seen them over and over and over. And he goes, when you sent those to me, 100% destroyer. Okay. Well, they move. Sometimes I catch it on the one side, and here's what I did one time is I sat there taking pictures for about an hour, every like 5, 3 seconds, 10 seconds. You know what I mean, or a minute. And because I can do on my iPad, I can do this, and it looks like a movie. I can move it like a book. You know how you do with the pages, and you can see the guys moving because you're flipping the pages so fast. I did that with there, and I saw a war. I saw these things going like this because I did it faster. And they were going like this and stopping, and something would get a shield. It was weird. I can't even explain it. And they would move up and down and all around the sun. And there was white ones on the one side, and there was the dark one on the other side. And they were circling the sun like this as the sun was sitting. So when the sun releases the destroyer, that's why it's there. It's causing all these, and plus our prayers being put out onto the sun. So we have to finish this show here because I got to get ready, guys. So
anybody like that. They're used to it by now. They know it's coming, and they'll walk anyway, regardless. But it's also sobering us up, Pastor Paul. And it's going to cause us not to bicker and complain a lot within ourselves, because we're going to start to value how precious another's time is with the Lord. We'll begin to see in aspects we didn't see before. We will.
Mike, let's talk about something about in a while, and that is the coffin that you saw. That's been a while. I mean, that was back, probably about a year ago. Has anything changed now in the current events and the changes of government?
No, Pastor Paul, it is. I tell you what. Before that one was something I used to talk about was the stone steps, right?
Yes, you did. Stone steps.
And right before that, when I used to talk about Russia,
Yes, you did.
And their plans with other nations. But anyway, with the stone steps, have you noticed that ever since the Lord gave that to me, everything turned legal? Did you know prosecution, legal, stone steps? That's what it turned into. And at the same time, the stone steps, down at the bottom, there was a different, people were in different uniforms that I didn't quite recognize, but there were armored vehicles all throughout the streets. Everything we've been going through has been it's been like a continuous stone steps. And at the same time that I saw the stone steps, a brown cloud with tentacles was reaching all over the place. It came from the west, all throughout the U.S., reaching all over the place. And it's, I forget, I think one of the people recorded this in COT a long time ago, but because it got overly passionate about telling this, but it led up, I thought it was done right there, right? But then the coffin issue added clarity to the ending of the stone steps. And I'll tell you right now, this coffin issue is a trigger. That's a trigger.
Do you feel, it's
a trigger.
So the person that you saw in the coffin is still alive?
Yes. That's a trigger moment. And I want to say something else too. Do you notice the trend that's happening? Because sometimes, listen, the Lord always has me. I'll never change anything the Lord gives me. I just won't do it. But the people, it's so funny because some of the people I saw there, I was thinking a little bit ago, that's impossible. How are they going to be in? That's impossible, right? But have you noticed the trend that's happening? Have you noticed that what the people are voting for? Do you know what that's ultimately going to turn into?
What's that?
Do you notice that there's an entire party right now hanging themselves? They are absolutely admitting defeat in several. Pastor Paul, there's a political shift taking place. There is, right? There is. You're looking potentially. This thing, I trust the Lord. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I can almost guarantee it. Who was in that coffin is going to be in that coffin. Right? They're going to be in that coffin. But he was probably the lucky one, because right after that was a trigger of a destabilization event that never got put back together. That's when the bold ones rose up.
When I saw Colin
doing things,
when former Secretary of State General Colin Powell died, I thought, because here was a guy that worked on both sides of the aisle. Okay, he was a military guy, and he was loyal to both Republican, and it didn't matter if he was Republican or Democrat. He's about the country.
Right.
He might have wavered a little toward the end, but at the end of the day, overall his career, if you look at the whole full body of work, he was an American. He was an American.
Mm-hmm.
We lost when he died. I just wondered if that was had any significance to do with the person in the coffin you had.
You know what? It's almost like it's leading up to it, Pastor Paul, but he was not that individual in that coffin.
Okay.
And in fact, the individual in that coffin can cause they cause the other ones to almost instantly change. Right? It was. It's just not a good situation. But they changed. They showed their true colors, and once the appointments took place, everything shifted. And I'm telling you, it happened so fast. It was almost something. I was seeing this from a perspective that what in the world can anybody do with this? There's nothing, because I normally look at things in several dimensions all the time.
You saw somebody standing next to the coffin also. The stone steps.
Oh yeah.
Is that person still politically in position?
Yes, that person is active.
What about the person in the coffin? Are they still active?
The one in the coffin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not gone anywhere yet.
Okay. They're still politically active.
Yeah, they're politically active. Well, I think if there's an eventuality to this, I'll tell you what, basketball, when that actually takes place, when it takes place, I hope that we're in position. You'll know when it takes place when I perceive it, because you probably won't find me that day. I'll be in prayer.
Right.
Because it was a hurtful thing that happened after that.
It's painful.
Uncontrollable things that took place after that.
Is it painful to the country?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
To the world, maybe.
It's almost like a total breakdown.
Yeah.
Total breakdown. And the people, if something happens in the world right now politically, the people, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They begin to find they were desperately trying to find somebody to follow, and in the same breath, you can almost feel how darkness rose so quickly that it was just impossible to ignore. It caused. I'm not a person who fears anything, but that gave me the jitters. That gave me the jitters, not the chills, the jitters, because it was just absolute darkness that rose, almost like trying to fill a void or possibly being promised something, but it was I know that's a trigger. And from there, things went quick.
Okay, now we're running out of time, but Mike, you say, are you still holding your position that Friday the 13th, April the 13th, 2029, Apophis, the god of chaos, this massive asteroid is going to go scraping past the Earth, or maybe it hits us, I don't know. It's probably got companion asteroids with it. But you have said, I think repeatedly, that don't worry about that right now. There's something going to happen before that. Are you still holding that position?
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about Apophis, to be honest with you. I'm not.
So
Apophis
what?
is almost like not a news story, or to me, it's not, because I know we're going to have to deal with much
is this other heavier? If this other heavier issue, do you have any new info on it? Is it anything more clarity?
Well, this winter, actually, right now, going forward, if you look very carefully, you're seeing the changes already taking place, right? The heavens are going to change, right? When the heavens are going to change at the same time, geologically, we become very unstable, and the water event is coming. It is coming. It's coming.
What? Not a flood or a tsunami, maybe?
The event is coming. And these volcanoes are almost like a prelude to some of the heavier things that do come. Listen, they already know that the entire Earth is going to be covered in a type of ash. They already know.
Yeah. I saw La Palma this week. It's got 4 and 5 and 8 feet of ash. It looks like snow.
Yeah,
covered all. Heavy. This is bad, Mike. Is this
very heavy?
Is it going to be like that all over the globe?
Yeah, all over the globe. And if you breathe that stuff, that's like glass particles. And if you breathe that in, it will get into your bones, right? It causes some bad issues. So, but they already knew that. Listen, they know that's coming, but we're also going to have to deal with a very thick black type of ash with a lot of cinders. So think of our environment that you really can't walk outside because of the smoke thickness and those cinders. There are going to be places uninhabitable for a while. And the whole paradigm of this globe, as far as where civilizations are, is going to change. I'm telling you.
Is that because we know what's going to blow up?
About that further, because there will come a time when people try to escape because you're not promised. Prophecy comes a breakdown of what everybody is used to. All kingdoms will change, and God's kingdoms, where His people are, they're going to be corrected. God's children will be so incredibly astute by the time this is over, right? We're just, even the most faithful of us right now would be, I guess, be seen as a heathen compared to what we will be. Put it that way. We're going to go through some things that is for us. Not every saint is going to endure it, because it will be quite a bit that will not be here to endure that.
Right.
But those who will, they're built for it. They're probably rough around the corners. They're built for it. But these things are coming fast, Pastor Paul, and the heavens are our key indicator of these things. nobody will have to ask, what's going to be the sign, because we're living right now and the atmosphere is about to change. It's about to change, and it's not going to go back to normal. Once it starts changing, everybody's going to notice. But the world's going to say, well, we just have to get used to that and keep trucking on. And I'm hoping the saints will not do what the world does. The world's going to get used to it, make an excuse for it, explain it away scientifically, and continue to live their lives, right? If they have to wear masks, they'll do it. They don't care. They'll walk around with respirators on saying, well, this is normal. No, it isn't normal, right?
No.
So the world's going to get used to it. Every single believer out there, they should really take another look at what's been happening to this earth, because it's not going back the way it used to be. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
We're not the only planet, right? What will infiltrate us will surely let us know that we have staken quite a few things.
What infiltrates us will let us know that we have
mistaken a few things. We have mistaken a few. What we can't see, we never do. We don't incorporate what we don't see or understand into, what we see as the future. Well, what we're about to see is about to become quite different than what we're used to.
Mike, thinking about these things that are happening now, it seems like technology has advanced so fast. It's caught up with the prophecies of the end days. There's talk of denying people food and water and employment and health care if they don't follow certain rules and mandates. Is part of that just reconditioning the human experience to prepare us for the mark of the beast?
Of course, man's concepts are being rearranged, right? What we once thought was incriminating is now not. What we once thought was, kind of like enslavement of the people, we don't even see anymore. Some of the things that we thought was awful morally, they do it every day, no big deal, right? People are used to being oppressed. They're used to bondage. They're used to being lame. They're used to being blind, right? This is their normal conditions. They're used to this stuff. And when they force this technology that we have, right, like a cell phone. Cell phone was one of the most ingenious inventions out there, but the most dangerous, because it made us dependent upon somebody else's systems for our very lives.
Yeah.
And so that was the entry point. Now that we're used to cell phones, we're used to digital currency already. We're used to so many digital things that nobody can do anything manually anymore. If the computers went down and they stopped them, they have absolute control. There's nothing we can do. You can't do money exchanges or anything like that without a computer unless you have your own personal assets, in which case you'd have to, that's a different story. But computers they're just all over the world. The technology is increasing, and what we'll see soon is the new type of technology is coming out for the phones, where the piece goes behind your ear, right? It no longer will it go in your ears, it could go behind your ear. Now, here's what they're doing right now. Even right now, I'm wearing a headset, right? This headset is at the top of my ear. It's not on my ear, in my ear. It's at the top of my ear, but I can hear it all over I can hear your voice all over my head. And I'm talking to you without a microphone, because what you're hearing, it's not a microphone. You're hearing my whatever's coming through my bones through this little thing right behind my ear. So this is where technology is going, right here.
Is that a military?
Your cell phone?
You got some kind of
military? Your cell phone's about to be out.
You got some kind of military new.
I have a little. It looks like a dot, right? Looks like a dot with a small little battery on it, and it's right there at the top of my ear.
That's your phone. That's your phone.
That's what I'm talking with. And so, but here's what I'm telling you now. They can do this by sound. I can hear you perfectly. All right? I hear you perfectly. Somebody can yell at me, and I can still hear you because the vibrations are going through my cranial bones, right? I can hear everything. And you can hear me because the vibrations I'm speaking is also going through my cranial bones, being amplified by this small device going right out to you, which is probably why it sounds louder than a normal microphone would. But they've taken another step past, Paul, that you can hear sound waves, and that can be interpreted by your brain without your ear. It's my whole point. It's not sound waves going through your ear. This is your brain interpreting sound through your bones. Well, guess what? They can also do imagery that way. And what I'm telling you is that the interface to phones is changing. right? The companies are out there right now. They have already perfected 2 stages of this. And when they get this done, you're not going to need to look at your phone anymore, is what I'm telling you. You're not going to have.
Wait a minute. So how am I going to see the pictures? Are they going to pop up in my head?
That's right. They'll just your visual acuity can pick up more than what you think, and your brain can interpret things in much more complex ways than what you think. So you won't have to hold anything in front of your face. You just kind of see them. It's kind of like imagining, a cross or a cup or a ball or something in front of you. You begin to see it if you can imagine it. Well, this will assist that, and you'll be able to see numbers and everything else. So here we are. Now, this is functional technology, right? Functional. Now that people have a dependency upon cell phones, what are people going to do if they change the entire architecture, right? They already took us off the analog networks. They said no more analogs. Everybody's got a month. This was a long time ago. Everybody's got 30 days, go digital, or your phone won't work.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody went digital.
Yeah.
Because we can complain all day. I'm telling you now, they have us trained that if you want to talk to somebody, be connected with the world, go get your technology. And people will not refute that, right? So these are the underlying things. A lot of people, we kind of skip over, but it's time to pay attention to those things also.
Mike, it's this is some really incredible information you share with us tonight. It's real good, and I was hoping for you to give us this type of clarity, that type of some to look into the future a little bit, to give us some intel to prepare us for the times that we're in. Give us some short-term view. What do you think we'll be talking about this time next Thursday?
Because tensions are so high, right? And everybody's on edge. Pastor Paul, a conflict can easily be started at any minute, right now, at any minute. Whether by an accident, right? A conflict could be started so easily right now. In fact, tensions are very high tonight. And believe it or not, they've been having certain talks to take place to calm, for reassurance sake. They have had those. So things are not as orderly as you would think. They're not. We're in a very tensious spot right now. So we could very well be talking about some of these tensions come this Thursday. If not, looking at the aftermath of somebody else's aggression. That could be the case this coming Thursday.
We'll keep this in mind. We'll also stay in prayer, and we'll stay ready. Because I think that's the message we're getting from you tonight.
Absolutely, Pastor.
Mike, it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight. Great information, and we look forward, Lord willing, talking to you next Thursday night.
Pastor Paul, is always an honor. I'll be here, brother.
All right. God bless, brother. Amen.
Okay, guys. It's been a pleasure having you guys here. Remember, don't take this as attacks on anybody. That's not what I'm here for. People need reproving. I only listen to him on Thursday, only from the time Mike gets on to the time Mike gets off. Okay? Because I'm not allowed to listen to fornicated words. Okay? So, and there's a reason God's using him for a reason. I do believe he is of God. He just hasn't gone through both sides yet to be able to explain the Bible properly. The Bible talks more about evil than good because that's what we are. Stiff-necked nation, all the way from back there, brood of vipers. When Jesus said we're a brood of vipers, he really meant it. Say, God bless you guys. I got a lot to do today, so I don't think I'll be back on. If I am, it will be later tonight with Mike. Okay, guys? So, and I want to spend some time with my wife here. We're fixing our stuff. Okay, so I love you guys. I thank you. God bless.